Gotta finish this one later. I just want to get out of here. I gotta block off his license plate number. Towing a car for a friend of mine who's a big boss at a global company, and no nice. Well, if you know, nice is subjective. Decent. I'm quite sure that being where this is, the house prices are probably through the freaking roof. But whew, it's so humid. And neighbor come with the mouth. I'll finish it later on. I want to get out of here. The police just left for this little city community, and I'm just gonna get out of here, and I'll finish it later because I don't want them to think that because he's sitting right in front of me, and I don't want him to think that I'm recording him. So let's get out of here. I ain't seen one of these in forever. Mr. Softy. Feeling nostalgic, but I can't stop. I got a job to do. This is why I always preach to my guys and anybody that listen to me on towing and being a boss and safety techniques and whatnot. Look, I'm dropping at a repair shop. He told me to drop it in the dirt field. Look, water meter. I don't have a whole bunch of room. Hell, I'm right in his driveway. But right here, water meter. I ain't going no further. I'm unloaded from here. But at nighttime, that's why I always tell the guys, goal, G-O-A-L, get out and look. It could be a difference of a few feet of a damn claim against your company and your insurance just because you didn't get out and walk around and look. Okay, I'm done. I done dropped off. And listen, like I was saying, and you have to excuse the glare. It's just, the sun is just beaming. Most of the clouds is gone. But we had a gully washer last night. It ain't last long, but it came hard and fast. But don't. Listen, guy walks up, got the bed down, put my blocks down because this Mustang is low. He got it dropped. You can't stick a soda can under it standing up. So anyway, get your kicks on Route 66. Matter of fact, I'll put that in the background of the video when I edit it. Listen, dude, what? Hey, hello. Everything okay? Yeah. You know, I ain't stopped working. I'm still going because I want to come that end of town over there, north of San Antonio, Friday. If been anybody else besides somebody that's high up the food chain that we do towing service for, it's been a wrap. Man, you can call somebody else, or you can wait till I just happen to have a truck dropping off in that San Antonio area and it's in a safe place, then we can go pick it up. If not, call somebody from there. But you can't do that when you got somebody that gives you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of work every month after month, year after year. Just go get the damn car. Hooking up. Well, what are you doing? And that's when I stopped. I'm about ready to tow this car. Why? I said, wait a minute. Who are you? You know, why I live here? I said, you don't live here. I said, because I know who lives here. You don't live here. Well, unless you moved in and you wasn't here the last 2-3 times that I've been here. Well, I live over there. Good. I'm not over there. I'm over here. Well, I know whose car it is too. Sir, are you bored? That's literally what I said. If you're bored, the only thing you had to do was just stand back and watch. Say, I always wanted to know how they do this. You didn't have to say anything to me. I'm good though. So here I go. Now you figure this would have made him shut up. When I done this, chip chip, and unlocked the car so I can get in it to release the parking brake, you think he would have went, shit, he got the keys and the remote, man. Does that mean, okay, let me mind my business? Well, I'm just asking because I said, sir, you can ask whatever you want. Okay, if you live over there, then you ought to know who lives here. And then, so if you know who live here, call. I said, what's his name? What's his name? And yeah, I'm not telling you, Carlos Fuentes. And you figure he'd been like, okay, that's two things. Let me shut up. Can't do it. I'm telling you, I'm going to say it like Messi Michon say, some white people don't know when to shut the flip up and go away. I keep on hooking it up. This dude walks off. He calls the police, right? He calls the police. Police pull up. I already had it loaded up. I was tightening down the straps that on the wheels because it's so low in the front, I can't get to the secondary tie down. So you do what's called a rim wrap. That's for your front securement. Anyway, y'all probably say, what the hell does that mean? It's a tow thing. Because you got to have a 4-point tie down. That's the law in the state of Texas. Most people don't do it, but I do. Because the streets is watching. Cop pull up. He wasn't tripping. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm fine. And you know me. Y'all know me. I'm armed to the teeth everywhere I go. And he said, what's going on? I said, nothing. Just towing a car. Yeah, I said, no, it's not a towaway. He said, well, I said, transmission, going to Shirts Auto Care. Okay. Yeah, I said, yeah. I said, you know how towing works, don't you? People, they stuff brake and they call the tow truck to pick it up. He said, yeah, well, you're here. I said, yeah, well, it's at his house. Why try to limp it there when you can get it towed from here instead of breaking down, blocking traffic? He said, yeah, that makes sense. And he said, well, you know the guy's name? I said, really? I said, yeah, I know his name and I got the keys to the car. I said, tell you what, I'll do you one better. Go get your buddy too so we can get this done with all at once. He's standing on the other side of the street grinning like he just finished humping the neighbor's cat or something. Think I done got this ninja. No, the flip you ain't. He's standing there. I grab my phone. Beep, 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 beep. Dial Carlos. He answered the phone. Yeah, what's up, T? I said, hey, I'm here at your house loading up your car. He said, yeah, okay, thanks, yeah. I said, yeah, Shirts Auto Care. I said, but you got a guy that lives down the street somewhere. I said, real tall, lanky, white guy. Bald in top and just got the hair on the sides, but he's a bald eagle in the top. Just like that. And he said, yeah, well, I said, well, he walked down here asking me what I was doing, even though he saw me with your keys. And even if he didn't, and before I could even finish, he said, even if he did, it ain't none of his damn business. I said, well, he done went further than that. He done called the police, and I got a police officer standing right here listening to our conversation. He said, are you effing, he didn't say effing, he said, are you effing kidding me? I said, no, you want to talk to him? He's standing right here, he can hear you. The cop gonna look, say, no, that's okay, that's okay. And then he gonna say, no, put him on the phone. He said, hand him the phone. And I'm trying to hand the cop the phone, he wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take it. And he wouldn't take it. I said, Carlos, he said he don't want to talk to you. He don't want to he's not taking the phone, and he's good to go. I said, man, you gotta be effing kidding me, man. They don't have nothing else better to do. I said, well, I guess being this dude called, the police can't say they ain't coming. But when he got here, he noticed ain't nobody running. Ain't no sweating. It's loaded up. You know, this, that, and other. You figure he would have said, man, it's just somebody with their S broke down. But nah, he had to come and talk. And then he said, well, then also when I pulled up, I saw you with a holstered weapon. I said, well, you know, open carry is legal in the state of Texas. Open carry, I said, for people that are not felons, and I have a license, even though y'all said I don't need them, I still got it. And I have a FFL. So, next question. And Carlos said, who is that talking? Is that the man? I said, no, that's the cop. He said, man, I'm on my way over there. Let me go ahead and take off. Tell them to wait right there. I said, sir, he wants you to wait here. Then the cop gonna say, he don't have to wait here. So Carlos said, oh, so you gotta come out when somebody else call about my property. He talking through the speakerphone. So you come out and bugging the crap out of my service provider, but it's my vehicle and my home you in front of, and I asked you to wait until I get there, but you ain't got to do that. He said, no, sir, I don't. He said, what's his name? I said, what's your name, sir? Even though I'm looking at, then he said, he mumbled something, and I said, Johnston, Johnston, and I read off his badge number. I'm not going to say it. And his name ain't Johnston. It's close, but it's not Johnston. But it's close. Got some of the same letters in it. Y'all. What are they gonna do? Call the police? I said, you want to see my son? He said, well, is that a commercial vehicle? Yes. He said, do you have permission? I said, well, I'll tell you what, let me help you out. And I got my license, bam. My driver's license, bam. My Fed card, bam. I said, now, you can go ahead and run the license plate of this truck and see who owns this truck. Then ask yourself again, then ask me again, do I have the owner's permission? He just looked at him, handed them back to me and said, all you had to do was say it's your truck. I said, how you know I ain't lying? Why don't you run the plate? Run the VIN. You want my insurance cab card? You want to call DOT over here? I said, actually, I know the DOT officer that runs this area. I know Phillips. I said, I can call. You know, Phil, I put, bam, hit and showed, your contacts and showed it to him. So, and that's when he like, I done got into some shit with somebody that you sure the frick did. You freaking goofball, you freaking goofy, you. He handed me my stuff back and said, sir, you're free to go. Now here go my smart ass. I shouldn't have said this. Free to go. I said, what, was I being detained? I shouldn't have said that, but I did. Was I being detained? No, you're not being detained. So I was free to go the whole time. Yeah. And his neighbor, I said, hey, is hand gestures against the law in this county over here? I don't know. He said, hand gestures? I said, yes, I'm asking you. You're a badged officer, you're on duty. I mean, so because I don't live here, I can't ask questions? He said, yeah, you can ask questions. I said, okay, is hand gestures against the law here? He said, no, not as long as you're not physically touching somebody and all in their face. I said, okay, thanks. That's all the right. I said, you sure? He said, yeah. And I done just like that to the guy standing over there across the street. So you be safe, officer. And he said, what county are you from? I told him my sheriff's name, gave him the phone number. Call him. And he just, all right. And he just turned around, jumped in his car, drove to flip off. I called Carlos after I stopped recording the first part of this and told him that the cop was drove off. And he said that he's going to call them and make a complaint. And the next time he see his neighbor, that he going to straighten his ass out. And I said, Carlos, don't go to his house. Wait until you see him outside. That way he can't call and say you came over there threatening him. or anything. Wait till you see him outside mowing his grass, you know, checking his mail, getting in and out of his vehicle. Do it while he's outside and you don't go no further than the public sidewalk. And that's it. Yeah, but man, here it is. I guess that's my fuckery Friday, because y'all always do the this week on fuckery Friday. Well, normally it's dealing with somebody coming to pick something up out of impound. Now it's me getting into it with a damn nosy ass neighbor. And Carlos said this. Carlos Mexican. Man, this trash and trapman, he just going off. And I'm like, Carlos, don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. He said, man, I wonder, he said, I'm gonna say something messed up. I said, go ahead. He said, I wonder if you was a white boy, if he would have said anything. I said, I don't know. You can ask him. And he laughed and I laughed and whatnot. And he, man, I appreciate you. I'm sorry about it. I said, dude, it's not your fault, man. Don't worry about it, man. I'm good, you know, because I'm smarter than the average bear. Even though I shouldn't have said the was I being detained thing. I shouldn't have said that. I did, but I shouldn't have. But anyway, that's it. There you go. I mean, this towing business, it's insane. Now, I bet you if I was in a not so hoity-toity neighborhood, same city, but not such a hoity-toity secluded community, because there is no gate, but it's like one way in, one drive going in, the other drive going out, and it just makes the grid all through there and whatnot. Would it have been an issue? And even though the odds of me ever seeing that dude across the street, unless I have to go there and pick up his vehicle again, is slim to none. I'd love to see your ass away from there. And I'll leave it at that. Y'all be good and be safe. Keep your head on a swivel, because there's always somebody lurking just to start some shit, even though you're minding your own damn business. Time to hit the road. Get out of here.